What up, everybody? Welcome to Real Talks. I'm Marty O'Connor, and this is my boy,
Sonny Casebound.
The show doesn't work out. Anyways.
Welcome back. On today's episode, we celebrate our life. And what I mean by that is in our situations, we have a new birthday. You want to elaborate on that one?
I guess it's, called about your life day, your celebration of life.
Yes.
Yeah, so the day we got hurt is pretty much the day we were, reborn.
Yeah, it's our resurrection.
We celebrate having life on this day.
Yes.
So today we celebrate our life because Sonny and I, it's coming up.
Yep.
So mine, August 12th, yours?
August 4th.
Can you believe we got hurt?
7 days. Or 8 days, technically. Yeah.
Can't believe we got hurt that.
Same year, 2012.
God knew this bromance was. It
was meant to
be.
It was meant to be.
If it's meant to be, it'll be.
So
we're just hitting those music notes ever since Marna's episode.
Right?
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but we have not even changed or moved since last week.
No, we stayed in the same spot. Just been chilling here the whole time. Yeah. Yeah, same underwear, everything.
Yeah, still wearing my dirty pee pants.
You smell good though. I don't know how you pull it off. Like you literally fart roses or something.
You know why?
The fragrance is good.
It's because I get some of that fresh air that only someone standing 6'3" could get.
Yeah,
and the only way to get up there, it's not as hard as you may think. It's actually pretty easy.
Stand.
Yeah. Only way to get up there, smell the roses, baby, is to get in that easy stand. Yeah. So thank you to them making all this possible. Yeah. We love you guys. For those of you who don't know, many benefits from standing up.
Definitely.
Such as?
God, stretching out the hamstrings.
Stretching out those hammies.
Getting the glutes fired up.
Glutes.
Yes.
Getting that blood pressher, the bone density.
For me, mine's an easy stand glider. So I'm able to do a little bit of cardio in there.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I also, if I meet somebody who's never known me before, I like to show them my full frame.
Yeah.
So that they feel the full.
You are
full
a full
effect.
frame. You are a full frame, beautiful person.
Wow, are you trying to say I'm a full figure model? Thank you, man.
Beautiful.
Appreciate that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. But it's just got a million and one little tricks, fabuloso
little doodads.
qualities. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to hit that glide, you get that stride. See, this is me on Sonny's thing right here. It's like the gazelle back in the day, like that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a deep dive into this episode.
Wow. Too soon, bro. 8 years too soon.
Too soon? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess we both dove head first.
Yeah, we did actually.
Really dove head first into this one.
But it's interesting to always hit our anniversary dates. So we kind of want to go behind the scenes on this one, pull back the curtains, and talk about the range of emotions we feel on this anniversary date because we are hitting our 8th year.
8th year, bro.
Unimaginable.
Yep. Crazy.
Unimaginable.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kind of go through the roller coaster of emotions that we dealt from year 1 to year 8. But at the end of the day, it is a celebration.
Yeah, and man, how the emotions have changed on this specific day over the years.
Yeah.
Because I could tell you, 8 days in, 8 months in, I still thought, damn, dude, I'm walking out of this. This is a short-term thing.
Absolutely.
And here we are 8 years later.
Yeah.
Not to say there hasn't been progress that's been made.
Right.
Amazing strides, I think, have been taken.
Yeah.
Without having, that cure out there, that thing, it's like there's so much growth and potential within us, even when those physical limitations still exist. So we could talk about those today too.
Let's dial it all the way back though to year 1.
Oh.
Give me your thoughts, your feels. Where were you at year 1 on the anniversary? Your mind state, physically? Give us the rundown. Where were you?
Man, denial still.
Yep.
Still kind of feeling like I'm going to charge through this thing and beat it. This is longer than I expected, but I'm a fighter. Yep. I'm going to keep working out. I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to snap out of it.
Yeah.
It's like that was literally the mentality. And, I had the immense benefit of having an amazing supporting crew around me, friends, family, loved ones, that really kept me positive. And I think that's, I was kind of operating at that surface level often, still going here and there and figuring out, because that first year is such a bitch, just trying to figure out everything, getting settled in back home again after the hospital, figuring out your whole routine, showers, bathroom, getting dressed, eating, going out. I think I was wildly insecure, but I was operating at like in a state of denial,
right,
where I was blindly optimistic at what was going to be coming.
Absolutely.
So that first year when it came, it was like, it was so fast, because the first year is such a blur.
It is
Such a blur. There's so much going on, so many changes. So the first year didn't even really sink in. How about for you?
Yeah, I totally have the same feels, man. Fog. It just feels like a foggy, dewy morning that you just never. The sun never comes out. It never clears up. Extreme denial. Year one. About what the situation is. I never panicked. I felt like, okay, tomorrow the miracle is going to happen. I'm going to like wake up and my toes are moving. Because the doctors do tell you, they tell you the hard truth. They also tell you there's a lot of healing in the first 2 years.
Right.
Like a lot of swelling gets out of your spine, and you do get some function back here or there. So the first year was nothing but denial. Every day I woke up, it was like, okay, something new is going to happen. But my body completely changed from how I went to the bathroom to how I was eating to, I started off with a feeding tube and a trach to just trying to find some kind of normalcy day in and day out, get the right help involved and stuff. Yep. But yeah, year one, complete fog. I look back on it now and I a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of what ifs. Actually, to be honest with you too, there's a lot of like, why am I still here?
Yeah.
If I'm going to be in this form, I'm going to have to deal with life this way. Why am I even here? Because I felt extremely worthless, super dependent, a burden. Yeah. So year one, I want to say there was every emotion you could put out there. I felt it. I dealt with it. But I am proud of myself, though. I did not hide from it. And what I mean by that, I didn't turn to any kind of drugs, alcohol, or quick fixes. I literally said, I'm just going to deal with these emotions.
Yeah. And I think that's where I was at in year two.
Okay.
When I got hurt, I was in a relationship, a long-term relationship. But about the 1.5 year mark, that was about 5.5 years of this relationship gone, done. And, and, so in an interesting fashion.
You were with that person for 4 years.
When I got hurt, that was 4 years. And then, it was probably about a year and a half in, something like that, and they just couldn't handle it, couldn't hang. And that first year was brutal. I totally get it, like
how old were you again?
24.
24, you're really young.
I got hurt, yeah. Really so when that second year came around, I think especially between like years 2 and 4, it was just dark, dude. Just really hating myself, a lot of regret, a lot of guilt, just a lot of anger and frustration of not being able to fix this and hating being that burden, and it was just, and listen when we're talking, man, we're talking like spans of years. It is a tough place and a very tough situation to operate in. Finding a smile we know is not easy. So, you got to sympathize with people who are going through stuff. Mental illness is very real, very difficult. Like, I remember just being in a dark fog, and literally not seeing or hearing anything, and it was like really gnarly. Yeah, really gnarly. Like not being at all present, feeling out of body, being so angry, so frustrated, so depressed, and it was a tough place to be in.
Yeah, for me, year 2, I felt like I was turning a corner because on my anniversary, I remember I went back to the DMV, got my license back.
Nice.
And I was driving. I had a party that you attended.
Yep.
And I just started dating again, and I thought I found a really cool chick.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like, okay, things maybe are heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
But still, I always felt like I was always getting closer, but then I was so far away. Because then, like, 1 month I would have, like, oh, man, I'm getting my license back. I'm dating this cool chick, and this is happening, and I'm turning the corner. And then a month later, all right, that chick's gone. She couldn't handle what was really going on. I could drive, but I don't want to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I kind of had separated myself from all my friends, and I was really like, you know, if I do go out, I need help with this, that, the other.
Right.
And I just wasn't ready to approach that. So yeah, I'm the same with you. Like from year 2 to 4, I was finding normalcy, but every time I felt like I turned a corner, it was another uphill battle.
For sure.
So I felt like I made progress, and as I was turning the corner, I felt like, okay, we're getting it down slope. And as I turned the corner, I was like, nope, we're going back up again.
Yeah.
And I felt myself hitting challenge after challenge.
I feel that. And I think in that time, too, I was kind of establishing, you know, my way of survival and, you know, my way of coping with this, because coping for me was always physical.
Yeah.
Always getting out, doing something physical, going surfing, skating, you know, playing ball, like doing something, you know, and realizing I was at pretty much my rock bottom. Never have been deeper or darker than that. Having to find ways and, you know, just bite my lip and go after things that were productive that I didn't want to be going after because I was just too pissed off.
Yeah.
You know, starting to find that help, starting to invest in myself in ways that sucked, because I hated myself so much I didn't want to like invest in myself. But
that's strong though to say you hated yourself.
For real. Yeah, it really was.
Why? Like what was it? What did, you know, just a situation you found yourself in?
I think for me, I've always been so hard on myself and have such high expectations that I feel like my current state was like basically just a massive failure of what life could have and, you know, quote unquote should have been for me, you know? And so just living each day in every little situation that, you know, didn't go right, I'd blame on myself, and I hated myself for it. I mean, we joke about it still today, like how we'd go out and I'd spill salsa on my shirt, and I would lose it. You know, I was just so down on myself that any little thing that went wrong, it's like, well, I'm an idiot. I don't deserve to be here. Why do I even try? You know? And it's like, it was not a good place to be living in. But, you know, in that pain, in that dark place, you know, you have to fucking keep looking for light. Yeah. You have to keep looking for it, even when you don't want to. You gotta just keep reaching, keep crawling, doing whatever you can to find that light, because, you know, the darkness will swallow you up eventually. You know, it's happened to too many people. So I started making those strides of investing into myself. You know, like what's the next thing? What am I gonna do? How can I grow myself? You know, like, do I go back to work? What's that look like? You know, can I turn this attitude around? What's that look like? How can I make my living situation look better? You know, and start like actually going out there and doing it, you know? And I was fortunate to have the friends that would take me out, you know, keep me social. You know, that was a big part of it as well. And also finding people that advocate for you, you know, like go back to my mama bear, you know, just looking for things to make my life easier in any little way. Like, even if it's like, oh, you know, when I'm sitting on the shower chair and my feet need to be up like an inch, is there some kind of pad or some kind of platform I could do? Just little damn things that, you know, you don't want to invest in. Finally have to start taking those strides, no matter how much it hurts to. I
found myself in year 2 and 4, like, I've pretty much exhausted every kind of therapy you could think of. Because the first 2 years, it was all about therapy. Like, I'm going to try everything on this planet that is available to me.
Yeah.
And between 2 and 4, I felt like I've exhausted every therapy. And I also felt like I was waiting. Like, I'm waiting for this miracle to happen. I'm waiting for this to come through. I'm waiting for this girl to find me and help me now. Like, I felt like I was in this waiting period between 2 and 4. And I just found myself on a roller coaster of emotions. And around 30, because I got hurt around 27. I was 26. I was turned 27 that March. And I found around 30, I just felt like I had hit rock bottom.
How was that for you, like approaching 30, kind of in that situation? Was that like tough? Was that like a hump that was like a mile marker that you thought you should be at X point in your life by that time?
Yeah, and like I felt like my prime was being wasted in a body I didn't want.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the opportunities that I had were all dried up. I felt like my relationships were suffering because I was in a wheelchair. So like I felt by 30 I would have a career locked in. I would have, maybe a potential wife or something, brewing in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'd definitely have way more independence.
Yeah.
And I felt like I would be putting together my physical with my knowledge. So like mentally, emotionally, physical would all be coming together.
Yeah.
In reality, I was emotionally destroyed, physically broken, no relationships on the horizon, and no future in sight. So when I hit 30, it was like everything just hit me all at once. And I just found myself in like I remember celebrating my birthday and I just went down a rabbit hole that I would never go in. And I just, just drank myself stupid. And I was just so much in a bad place.
Yeah, I feel that, dude. And I think a good place for us now, in this part of the conversation is, it seems like we hit our rock bottom.
Yeah.
And it took even years to get there. You think like,
Injury.
right when this happens, you're going to be like, worse off than ever. It's like, man, no, it takes a while to set in, maybe because we're just stubborn ass guys.
Yeah.
But no, I think what I want to talk about now is like, okay, celebrating life.
Yep.
How can we celebrate life when we are at this rock bottom? How can we celebrate the fact that's like, congratulations, you're breathing.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is there to celebrate? I want to play devil's advocate for someone out there who's struggling. It's like, what the hell is there to celebrate? What do you say about that?
Well, looking back on it now, had I just accepted what reality was, I could have turned the corner quicker.
Yeah.
It was my own self-denial. It was my own stubbornness. It was my pride that got in the way of me really self-discovery. I always had the attitude like, yeah, I got put in this position for a reason. God saved me. I need to, figure this out. I can't quit.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to quit, but I can't quit. But for me, I think the turning point really came at the point of acceptance.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. Acceptance came later for me, but, part of that bottom that I was talking about, that rock bottom and starting to invest in myself, part of that was, my spiritual health too.
Oh, yeah.
And started going, to church and, kind of finding my faith again.
Yeah.
And, I give mad props to Saddleback Church for that. Like for me, I was living in Anaheim right across from Angel Stadium, and they were running, services right out of the Grove of Anaheim there, right across the street. Literally right out of my balcony, I'm looking at them like setting up for Sunday, and it's like, I was raised Catholic, probably more of like a holiday Catholic, going like, Easter, Christmas, Lent, like all that kind of stuff. More personal about my faith than, an every Sunday type, but I felt like it was a sign for me to, why is this here? And I'm searching for something more. And I know now at this point that it's not something that I myself can fix.
Right.
I have to put, my faith into something bigger. Mm-hmm. And for me, that faith was God. And, started going to church and, hearing the message and knowing that there is a purpose behind this pain. And once I could start applying purpose to my pain almost became not an addiction, but a complete perspective shift on, pain that I could choose, productive pain, putting in extra hours here, reading when I didn't want to, like those kinds of decisions where pain is doing me good.
Yep.
And knowing that the physical pain and the shit that sucks, all that kind of pain is only going to make me stronger for the next day and the next situation. So while it's really hard to live there, I knew that God had a plan for my life. And that was it, man. Honestly, finding my faith again really allowed me to find a purpose. And I mean, you just, listen to a little bit of gospel, and I think there's a there's a whole world out there that will, I mean, unleash within you. I think there's so much that we're capable of, that we have the potential to be, and it comes with perspective and, you know, serving others and not just yourself, and, you know, serving a greater purpose and a, you know, higher being. So that was really important to me.
I'm going to hit you with it right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit you with it. I think
Yeah,
me and you both struggled so much with this, besides acceptance, was surrendering.
Dude.
Surrendering, okay?
Yeah.
And because me and you
I don't wave no white flag. No.
And we looked at it as surrendering as quitting, as giving up. But what we gave into was, like you just said, God's plan. We surrendered. And I feel like from year 1 through 4 and 5, I wanted to control every move.
Yep.
I felt like I needed to. My life was out of control before. Now I need to control everything. And in hindsight, though, it wasn't so much I needed to control everything. It was like I needed to get my priorities straight. I needed to accept the challenge. And I needed to surrender that it's not always going to work out the way I plan.
Yeah.
But it's going to work out the way it's supposed to.
For sure.
You know, and surrendering around year 5 is when I think everything changed for me.
Yeah.
I accepted the wheelchair, you know, and like I joke and I've said it a million times, it's the whole Sonny and chair thing.
Yep.
Okay, this is now part of my journey. I accept it. And then I surrendered that I'm going to put myself out there, you know, when it came to jobs, relationships, friendships, whatever, this podcast, we're putting ourselves out there. And whatever's meant to be is meant to be, you know, asara or que sera, sera, you know, like whatever's meant to be is meant to be.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I felt like my life completely took a 180. And from that point on, it's just been like, instead of me turning corners and going uphill, it's been turning corners and going downhill. Yeah. And I started catching momentum and speed in certain things. And every time I open myself up to an opportunity, it may not be what I thought it's going to be, but it led me to something even better.
Yeah. Dude, I love it. And, you know, going back to waving that white flag, I specifically remember having a deep conversation that it was like, why not just like give in? And like they asked me, like, why not just, you know, take it easy on yourself? Why not just like, you know, give in to the situation and make the best out of it? And it was like, why would I want to accept a lower standard for my life? You know, and the idea I built in my head was that this life is less than. It's not worth what I had before. Yeah. Just purely based on physical ability, right? And I never had an aha moment. I never had a switch that flipped, but through those small investments over a period of time, my wall started coming down brick by brick, and I started seeing clearer and seeing beyond my little, you know, circle, my little fortress that I built up around myself. Yeah. You start taking it down, and only through challenges and the pain that you choose to endure, you know, for a purpose, only then was I able to start seeing clearer. And once you get like a taste of that, like productivity, that effect you can have on people, start having an impact. Yeah. And just like having an authentic smile, and you're like, oh shit, wait, I'm not wasting my time being mad right now because I can't, you know, stand up and cheer during this part of the game. Like, just dumb shit like that. It's like you start surrendering, and it's not a surrender at all. It's empowering. Yeah. You know, and that's one thing too. I think it takes a lot of courage to, you know, swallow that pride and accept that you aren't necessarily in control of your situation. You know, there is a lot more at play than what you had in mind. Right. And, you know, once you kind of figure that out and apply it on like establishing a routine is critical, because it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm going to go to church, you know, oh, I feel great. Like, praise the Lord. And then just get caught up in whatever BS you're doing, you know? But just like sticking with it and investing yourself continually. Like I said, allow those walls to come down and see clearly.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It's as I surrendered, I found resilience. Mm-hmm. I found that like I'm relentless towards my goals. But I also found myself, instead of being so rigid, I found that I was more flexible in my goals as well. And like the weird part about that is I started to gain momentum when it came to my purpose again. And I found opportunities that were popping up like out of nowhere, you know, and I started watering these seeds, and they led me to so many different things I never would have imagined myself doing.
Yeah.
But I found myself passionate about those things again. And I found myself all of a sudden, I had lived a life from year 1 to 5 with no passion, broken, lost, no purpose. So all of a sudden I'm finding passion, I'm finding purpose, I'm regaining independence. And all of a sudden I'm like, you know, maybe this life isn't that bad.
Right.
You know, and now I find myself in opportunities and situations that I don't know if I didn't get hurt, I would have.
No way. I truly don't think so. And I think along the way, not just the injury, but the experiences that, you know, the relationships, the, you know, the ups and the downs, especially, like, had they not occurred, I probably would have just totally remained complacent in the place I was at.
Yeah.
You know, like, I had a great job, granted, but, like, I may still just be selling bottles, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I loved it, and it was a great thing, but it's like, dude, I'm doing bigger shit now, and stuff that just feels so good, and that things that I feel like I'm actually having an impact in, like, serving others, even though, like, serving myself because it's my business, our platform, it's all that, but it's like, when you take yourself out of the picture and make it about others, I feel like it just returns more to yourself. Like, you get more out of giving than you do in taking, like, all
100%,
day.
yeah.
All day, you know, and I found that, and, like, that's the shit that, like, okay, like, I can celebrate this because, I mean, wow, I know, you know, that God's got this, you know, people are doing research. I feel like for sure in our lifetime, we're going to be out of this damn chair.
Oh, yeah. Sooner than later. Sooner than later.
Why wait and sulk and bitch and moan when we can invest in ourselves and build our empire now?
Yeah.
So that when that time comes around, you can enjoy that. Like, why do you want to start then? Like, don't wait. Like, you got to start now. Put in the time, the work, the effort, the blood, the sweat, the tears, because, you know, when it comes time to collect that reward and start living life, you don't want to play catch up. You don't want to be like, oh, I wish I actually would have done physical therapy. Now I got to work on my bone density so I could stand up and start working on these legs that they cured and made work now. You know, it's like, dude, you got to just put in the time.
Put in the time, but also forget about timelines.
Yeah.
There's been so many. So I've had a couple girls that I've dated that had this timeline. Like, by 30, I got to have this. By 32, I got to have this.
Yeah.
And, like, I live by those timelines.
Yeah.
You know, and what I realize is those are just, like, all those do is restrain you. All those do is bring you grief.
Yeah.
Because in life, there are certain things that you just can't put a time on, you know? And also, too, time is, like, to me, I've come to realize, especially this year, all the craziness, right, is it's a privilege to grow old. It's not a guarantee.
Yep.
You know, and I'm not going to live in a life that I feel like, oh, by 35, I have to have this accomplished, or I got to be this, that, and the other. As long as I know day in and day out, I'm bettering myself. Yeah. I think for me, what I realized, and, like, this is the one lesson I've learned through the whole journey of 8 years, is self-mastery. And I look at myself as, like, okay, like, if I was a character or, like, a player on a game, like a fighter, I can look at myself on the screen. Okay, these are my weaknesses. These are my strengths.
Yeah.
And I just look at those weaknesses. Okay, how can I improve that? You know, and I take that day by day.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And because that's the only thing I can really control is how I improve daily. Otherwise, life's a journey. It's our greatest teacher, and every day there's going to be lessons taught to you.
For sure. And those lessons come, I think, from investing in the process.
Yeah.
You know, putting your effort into the process. Don't focus on the result. Just focus on the process. You know,
but break down investment, because it's easy to say invest. What is when you invest in something? What does that mean to you?
An investment is, I think, taking something that you own. You know, I own my time. I own my effort. I own my feelings. I own my money, and then putting it into a stock. You want to call it a stock, whatever, something so that it will grow. You know, you invest into something so that it will grow and return to you greater than what you gave. So I invest my time. Am I going to invest my time into scrolling aimlessly through Instagram? Or could I cut that in half and invest 50% of that time into listening to an audiobook about, turning my business into something better,
right.
Making me a better manager. That was an easy, tough, choice, because it's easy to get, caught up in that, especially if you listened to our episode last week about social media.
Yeah.
But it's an investment that I made, and it's something that I will have more knowledge because of that. And I will in turn hopefully make better decisions for my business, which will hopefully in turn return more money, more leads, more whatever, however you want to look at it, just from that simple investment. Yeah, you own your effort. Okay, you could sit on your ass and you could watch TV, Netflix, whatever, especially right now during COVID.
Right.
Or you could sit, and take a half hour on your floor, wherever, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, run in place, do some lunges. Like, you don't need a gym. Just because it's closed doesn't mean you can't go and put in that effort.
Yeah.
You own that effort. And because of that, you're going to feel good. You're going to pump some endorphins through your body. You're going to burn those calories from all those stupid Cheetos you've been eating, all that stuff during quarantine. It's like, these are the little investments that you make. And like, you are dealing with anxiety, depression, things that are hurting you on a day-to-day. You can invest into seeing a therapist or psychologist.
Yeah.
You can invest in your mind, and investing in the mind is something I cannot stress enough how critically important it is. Like, if anything that we've learned from this is like how powerful the mind is. Like, my body is still paralyzed. I still can only shake these shoulders and lift my arms a little bit. Take some steps if I'm supported, but what do I do with that on a day-to-day? Nothing. It's my mind, and those investments in my mind have taken me now to places that I couldn't have imagined. Just like, we're doing these things that we couldn't have thought possible. And I think it comes from those small investments consistently.
Yeah.
You have to remain consistent with those investments, because, doing 50 push-ups, in one sitting once a week, not going to do anything. You do that multiple times a week,
Exactly.
you're going to start seeing results, and you fall back, and it's okay. We're human. We have, we do fall back on things. We do slip back into bad habits, but you have to remain, with your eyes on the prize.
Absolutely.
Not the results, but the prize being the journey and the dedication to that journey. So that's kind of what I mean on investment.
I think the biggest difference between Sonny before spinal cord injury and Sonny now is our most valuable commodity, our most valuable real estate of ourselves is our time and our emotions.
Yeah.
And if, you know what I mean? I never took stock of that before. I gave them away freely.
Yeah.
To anybody, to anyone who, and half the time they did not deserve it.
Yep.
So now when I look at my life, because I value my time, because I value my emotions, I find myself in more meaningful relationships, more meaningful friendships. And when it comes to opportunities job-wise, I find myself in more meaningful jobs.
Yeah.
But that didn't change until I changed. And if you're sitting there and you're really like, oh, why do I always date losers? Why am I always in these horrible jobs? You don't value your time. You don't value your emotions. And until you could figure that out and channel that, your life will never change.
Yeah. And one other thing to value is your potential.
Yes.
Gotta value your potential. And that's what I didn't value for all those years. And it held me back so much. And once you realize what the hell you're capable of, even in the worst of circumstances.
The worst of circumstances.
Like literally, they suck. Like, you're capable of so much. If your heart's beating, if you're breathing, that's something to celebrate. And it's like, damn, our stubborn asses took years to get to this point, but it's like, you push through it, and damn, the other side is so bright.
Yeah.
And that's something like every day should celebrate life because of that.
Speaking of celebrating,
yeah,
year 8. So what are you celebrating this year? What is, or over the last 8 years, what is something you could really say, man, I'm glad that I figured this out. I did this, that. Like, what are your celebrations right now?
Yeah, for me, man, I think not coming full circle, but like just the sum of all my investments, the years, the time that I put into grad school, going back and getting my leadership certificate, all of the time and money I put into, getting help to work on my mental state and my emotions. All the physical therapy, getting me to a place where, I can operate during a work day and put things out there. Just adding all these weapons to my arsenal because of all that. Yeah. Investing into my faith and spiritual help to keep me motivated moving forward, blindly, just knowing that, I have like optimism and, I'm like eager for what I don't even know is coming.
Yeah.
Because I know it's like, it's in my plan and it's going to be great. Seeing all those things come to fruition and launching my first business, and trying to use that business to help people and help their business and help their missions, tell people stories that can impact others.
Yeah.
I'm really psyched on that. And I know that I wouldn't be in the place I'm in today had I not, put that time and that effort in, to try and be a better person.
Yeah.
It's that I came off, in a positive way so that people wanted to engage with me further and brought me networking opportunities that led to this, that led to that, who introduced me to who, and now I'm doing this. It's like all those things are building on themselves and it's turning into something.
Yeah.
And finally now I'm building for myself. And it's like, I was kind of building blindly for a while and now it's all coming together.
Yeah.
It's like I'm no engineer, but it's like doing all that little stuff on the inside doesn't really look like much, but now it's like the engine's coming together. I'm staring at a sexy little V12 right here, just ready to take off,
Yeah.
So just keep on building, and that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited to see things coming to fruition, and I'm happy with the person I am today.
Definitely.
I know that, Marty pre-injury was a lot of fun. A lot of energy,
Same.
Athletic, doing all that stuff. But I am proud of the man that sits before you today, stands only when I'm on my easy stand. I'm proud of that. And I'm proud of how I treat others, and proud of how I treat myself, because
most important,
longer than I can remember, I never treated myself well.
Right.
I always had an idea of perfection and performance, and now I'm actually performing and I don't have the expectation that I need to be perfect, and because I know it's not possible, but you can be perfect in your effort and putting it forward, and the results at the end of the day, it's not on me. God's got this.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm proud of you, bud.
Thanks, bro. What about you? 8 years in.
Before I talk about me, man, I just want to highlight everything you just said right now, and because I've been a part of your journey pretty much from day one.
Absolutely.
And I've seen you grow a lot. I've seen you open up a lot, especially during this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I co-sign everything you say. It's not you humble bragging, like it's real. I see it.
Bro.
And, I've always admired your inner strength through thick and thin, through all the hurdles that we go through. Man, you always come out the other end better.
Well, I know I wouldn't be here today if I didn't borrow, some of the strength that you've, brought to me in this bromance. So, I got you. You got me.
Well, that's enough kissing your ass. So
anyway,
let's talk about me, most importantly here.
Mm-hmm.
From day one, I just felt like I was looking through a tunnel and there was just no light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And I just look back at all the struggles and all just getting through all these things that we've been faced with and slapped in the face with. And I'm proud of the relationships I've built.
Yep.
First and foremost. And I feel like the relationships that were there before my accident that are still here now are just so much stronger, deeper, and just lifelong relationships that I will always cherish and appreciate. The person I've changed into, my priorities before were all about partying and girls and being a half-assed friend, to where now I feel like I'm reliable. I feel like my character's intact, and I feel like I lead with integrity and honesty more than ever. And I'm just glad that I've been able to carve out a place in this world for me.
Yeah.
I didn't fit in my whole life, and I really didn't fit in when I got put in a wheelchair.
Yeah, for sure.
And now I feel like I fit, and I feel like I found my purpose. I found my why. Every day that I get up, I have a why that's greater than any excuse I can come up with. And just this past year, just being on my own and just, I'm still sit there. I'm like, wow, okay, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. And it's gratifying and it's rewarding. And this year when I pass the anniversary, it's not going to be a day I have to pump myself up on. I feel like I'm just going to be like, all right, man, I'm doing it. I'm doing this damn thing. And I'm making it.
I'm doing it well.
Yeah, and it's, to me, it's just going to be like a breath of fresh air. It's been a crazy year, almost a waste of a year, because it is what it is. But Overall, I'm just happy that I'm healthy. I'm happy that I have the friendships I have. The opportunities are still presenting themselves each and every day. You know, and if there's somebody out there struggling, man, you got to take it one day at a time. You got to just, it's not always going to look pretty.
Hell no.
It's not always going to look pretty. And there's lots of days where, you know, we had to get through it.
Yeah.
You know, and there was all kinds of things happening in the background that maybe most people don't know about. But
gotta embrace it.
Gotta embrace it.
Okay, you gotta embrace the suck.
Yeah.
You know, someone I know, Brent Gleason, wrote this book, Embrace the Suck, former SEAL.
Yeah.
Man, that suck, that pain, that suffering, that's the secret sauce, man. That's the stuff. That's where growth happens. You know, you can't, a muscle can't, you know, grow until it's broken down.
Yeah.
You got to break that shit down. You know, sometimes, you know, if, you know, you think you're buried, maybe you're just being planted.
And I know we make it sound easy, but sometimes you gotta smile and laugh through all the bullshit too.
Yeah. It's hard. We know it because we've been there.
Yeah.
And if you're going through it, find someone that can advocate for you. Find that person that is gonna, you know, be there to be your strength when you don't have it. Because I know that is so critically important. A lot of people don't have the support that I know I did. You know, so if you need that help, feel free to ask us. I mean, we'll shed any bit of information, help, support that we can. If you're really struggling, you know, I encourage you guys to, you know, seek help. I think therapy, a psychologist helped me dearly. You know, the times that
have you had a psychologist the whole time?
Not the whole time, on and off.
Okay.
But you know, I did have a good stint there for a while, probably around year 4, you know, somewhere in there.
And we're both guys that haven't medicated. We don't take antidepressants.
Dude,
we don't do any of that stuff.
Painkillers.
Nothing. Nothing. We deal with our pain, but yeah, you seek help with a psychiatrist. I know I've vented millions and millions of times to some close people that are in my circle, you know. But sometimes talking about it is actually the best thing to do. And we're not talking about social media posts. We're talking about actually face-to-face or phone conversations and just get it off your chest.
Forget social. It's not going to be real anyways.
No.
You know, maybe it's heartfelt, but you want to have someone that, you know, maybe is a complete outsider. That, you know, doesn't have a vested interest to try and just make you feel better and say what you know, may need to hear in that moment, but really give you some constructive feedback and, you know some tactics about how to work on that old brain upstairs, because it's a strong thing, man. Yeah. So.
And we're true testaments too. Sometimes the worst imaginable thing that could happen to you could actually be the best thing that happens to you. Yeah. And we're not just saying that to blow smoke up anybody's ass. I mean, this is literally our nightmares, but man, it's led to some like amazing opportunities. You know, it's like every time I play that movie in my head, I keep thinking, man, if this didn't happen, would I be where I'm at today? And I don't have a good answer for that. I don't think so. I really don't think so wholeheartedly.
Yeah, man. Well, that's something to celebrate. You know, I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Proud of us.
I'm really proud of you.
Really proud, man. Yeah. You know, and I'm proud of you, Wheel World. Keep fighting, man. We know how tough it is. Yeah. Just know that together we're stronger. Come together as a community. Be there for people in need. Be a good person. And, you know, you always got us here on the other end. Feel free to shoot us a DM, comment below. You know, and if you guys like what you see, please just like, share, and subscribe. Share this message with someone in need. How about that? Let's challenge you with that. Share this episode with someone who needs it. And if they don't need it, someone who may just enjoy it.
Celebrate life today. As we celebrate ours, celebrate your life today. That's all. That's what we challenge you on today. Just celebrate this life.
Yep. It may take longer than you think or may want, but hey, surrender, give up that control, grow.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. We'll talk to you later.